I cannot tell you how overwhelmed I have been in like the past week and a half. Not only did we have the floods, but I was revamping our budget. I was going through credit card statements. I was going through... Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel, This Chick Budgets, where I do, or at least try to do, a zero-based budget. I am in my 40s, so is my husband, and we are a family of 3 living with my brother-in-law who is in his mid-50s. So we live in a very rural area. We live in Texas, and we do live on some acreage. So a couple of our sinking funds are going to be reflective of that, as well as a lot of the loans and the payments that you'll see within our budget. We have made some progress. We've made little progress, but still some progress nonetheless, over the past couple of months. In fact, 6 months on paying off debt. We have closed our storage, canceled our storage insurance, as well as paid off our Amazon card once, which has now been recharged. We're trying to pay it off again. And we also took care of our tax obligation. Our refund this year actually took care of our past balance of our taxes, which, it was $4,300 left. So we had $4,300 left to pay, and our tax refund basically wiped all of that out. So we have $318 a month back into our budget, which is phenomenal, y'all. It has been 8 years in the making that we have been on a payment plan with the IRS, and it is just an amazing feeling to know that you do not owe the government. So that is taken care of, and we are getting a refund back. It is just not physically in my account, so we will go over a plan for that in just a bit. This is what our month of May looks like. We do have 2 paychecks in the month of May. We have May 10th, and we also have May 24th. So for this budget, we are going on May 10th, which does include our credit card minimum payments, as well as the bulk of our monthly bills. So the first of the month, we typically leave for our mortgage. In the middle of the month, we typically leave for everything else. That includes filling our sinking funds, filling our groceries, our vehicles with gas and fuel. One of our vehicles does take gas, the other one takes diesel. So our gas budget is a little bit higher. Now, the one thing that I did do different, and I will be doing differently going forward, is not so much using this book. Let me explain. I know my previous video, I had explained why I used the Budget Mom workbook and all of the different scenarios that various sheets in her workbook made our budgeting that much easier. And it did, in fact, buy us this house, or help us buy this house. Since then, we have been back on the Budget Moms book. Now, I went through all of our bills this weekend, and I did find something that was pretty alarming. There was a lot of bills that I would say, I think at one point I was aware of, but I didn't ever add them to the budget because they were out of sight, out of mind. They went on our Amazon card, or they went on a different card, and I didn't pick up on it. One of these subscriptions is actually because my son signed up for it, as he still has access, and I didn't know about it. So we went through our budget with a fine-tooth comb, as well as our credit card statements, actually. And we came up with a different, let me get this out of here. We came up with a different budgeting concept. It's actually not a new budgeting concept, but I did have a Debt Crush workbook. And you've seen it on this channel just a couple of times on how I would digitally do it so that I didn't have to muck up my book and make my book basically a mess. This is where I did it digitally. I could tweak it, get it written in stone, and then I would transpose it in my book on camera. Now, in doing our budget this weekend and in speaking with my husband at great length this weekend, we went through our budget with a fine-tooth comb, even finer than we did before. And there were some things that we didn't account for that were being charged to our cards, and some things that we added to our budget due to recent events. So for the state of Texas, we've had a lot of flooding in recent weeks. And what that taught us is that we are in a pocket where we didn't get flooding, thank God, but everyone around us did. And when my husband tried to come home, there was hardly any way for him to get to us or to get to me. There was hardly any way for him to get back to me. So he almost couldn't come home. And had our home been flooded, that would have been catastrophic, and it would have blown everything. I looked up our homeowner's insurance, and we have a $7,000 deductible. So that was added to our budget as a sinking fund. We also got a recent shipment of razors from the Dollar Shave Club that I completely forgot that we were on every 4 months. So that came out and it wasn't budgeted for. And the other thing was our trash. So let me go through as easily as I can. This is a new concept for me. I've never shown someone how to do something on an iPad. So please bear with me. I've never done it this way before. So this is my bi-weekly paycheck breakdown. Now we do get paid twice a month. Usually in the beginning of the month and in the middle of the month. So I have $34.31 for our income this pay period. And these are all of our expenses. Now, I really wanted to break this down, and primarily because my husband wanted to see more detail about where everything was. So I noticed that I really don't have a lot of room on the Budget Moms paycheck tracker. And, I don't have enough lines, y'all, to do everything that I want to do now that we are absolutely 110% have every single bill that gets charged to anything. Because of that, I also broke it down into our bills, any credit card minimum payments that we make, any loans that we have, any subscriptions we pay for, and any unexpected bills. So starting at the top, I segregated Paycheck 1 and Paycheck 2. Now, for anyone who saw my Debt Crush workbook in previous videos, this was actually Plan A and Plan B. Now, previously, I would fill out Plan A, I would sit on it, wait a couple days, and I would go back and I would try to come up with a more stringent plan the second time around, and then choose one I was willing to go with. Since that has changed this weekend, I am now doing Paycheck 1 and Paycheck 2, assuming we get paid twice a month bi-weekly. That will give me a full budget breakdown for the entire month, and I'll just copy the tabs, one for each month. So for this month, these are all of our bills that are due. I don't have my electric bill yet, so that is why that is blank. But we have about $4,700 a month, not including our electric because that hasn't come out yet, in bills. So Paycheck 1, I am going to go off of my calendar, which I have right here. So we are paying our 3 credit card minimums plus all of our middle of the month bills. So that does include our car insurances for $566. That does include our cell phone and internet for $294. And I've had comments where they had said that our phones and our internet are high. We just paid off a phone, which actually dropped this by about $45. So that is paid off. So strictly this total is for 2 cell phones and 2 internet modems. Where we are located, we are very, very rural. Due to that, we're surrounded by trees. So I have 1 modem in the front of the house, 1 modem in the back of the house. And then when we moved in, we had to extend 10 feet in the air to cell phone boosters and to internet boosters to basically get over the trees. So that is why this is so high. It's for 2 internet modems at $50 each, and the remainder is our actual cell phone bill. That does also include free Netflix. So in our subscriptions down here, I don't have Netflix because it's already free and included with our cell phone bill. Next is our credit card minimums. So we are paying our 3 credit cards as they are due in the middle of the month. CC4 is actually our Amazon card, and that's due at the beginning of the month. So we're just making minimum payments for these. And our loans that are due are our pest control loan and our student loans, which are actually 3 student loans that I just make 1 payment for. And this is the part that I didn't account for previously. So the reason why these 4 areas are marked in blue is primarily to remind myself that these are all 1 payment. The reason why these are all 1 payment is because they are charged to our Amazon credit card. So when I do make our beginning of the month payment, it is going to include the charges for these items because it's only 1 payment. So our LifeLock was previously accounted for, but our Prime membership, our Max, and our Paramount were not. The Max I didn't know we had. Paramount my husband apparently purchased. He's a Jersey Shore fanatic, y'all, and he watches that on Paramount Plus. And our Prime membership I didn't really ever account for in my budget. And I've had Amazon Prime, I think now going on 4 years. So that was like, I can't believe I missed it. And Disney Plus is because, and I know we have a lot of subscriptions, y'all, but y'all have to understand, my husband sleeps in his truck. He does not have a TV. This is all done on a tablet or his cell phone. When he's not working, he has nothing to do. So I am more than willing, for what he sacrifices for our family, to allow this many subscriptions as long as it makes my husband happy. So there's that. I also have driver's legal. Again, my husband drives, so this is to protect his CDL should anything arise. Pest control service, we are in the middle of a forest, so pest control service is beyond what I am capable of doing naturally, which is why we still have it. And we have another subscription, and we have a toll bill that we did finally receive from going to pick up our storage. It was in a different state, so we had to wait for that to come through. And we also do have a $75 buffer. This was previously $50. I increased it to $75. That was something that my husband wanted. I'm fully aware that that may not always happen, but I will try, as long as I'm able to do so, to put $75 as a buffer. The other half of our sheet is our daily spending. So this is our version of envelopes, and we broke up our grocery budget even further. So previous videos, you will see that I had $425 for groceries, $100 for date night, $100 for miscellaneous, and $100 for gas and fuel. I broke our grocery budget down even further because we go to 3 different places. So I do the bulk of my grocery shopping through Aldi, and I order it for pickup. So I think it's like $1 or $1.99 or something to pick it up for pickup. So we do that there. The second grocery store that we go to is H-E-B. I know that's not a nationwide chain, but in Texas we have H-E-B, and I do shopping there that I cannot get at Aldi. And two of the biggest things that we get, actually three of the biggest things that we get at H-E-B is, one, we get kombucha. We're starting to get into the season where I am unable to make my own kombucha due to the house being so damn hot. Kombucha acts differently in the cold than it does in the heat, which goes along with any fermented product. So it becomes damn near impossible, at least for me in my home environment, to make kombucha on my own. It's mainly something I make in the wintertime, when I can control the temperature a little bit better. So that is one of the things we get. Also, they make their own tortillas. If you've never had homemade tortillas, oh my gosh. They make butter tortillas that is to die for. So we stock up on tortillas. They freeze beautifully. And then lastly, we do not eat pork. So we get beef bacon and turkey sausage at H-E-B. Next, we have CVS. So we shop at CVS for two things only. Number one, we shop for coffee at CVS. We are coffee addicts. I have my own little coffee bar at home. So my husband takes a big thermos to work with him when he leaves out. And I make iced coffees throughout the afternoon. So it does work out well. We use La Llave. La Llave is a Spanish espresso that we brew like regular coffee. So no other coffee will do after you have drank or drunk La Llave or Bustelo. Those are my two favorites. La Llave is a little less bitter than Bustelo, so we buy it by the brick at CVS. And I also use my extra care bucks toward these purchases also. It also includes my husband's supplements. Often their supplements are buy one, get one free. He takes ginger, turmeric, and cinnamon on a daily basis. Date night gets $100, miscellaneous. Gas and fuel is for his diesel, which did go up in price, and gas in my car. I haven't really, this is mainly, y'all, going to my husband's truck. This whole $125 has been filling his truck with diesel each month, and I have not been filling my car. My car has actually been sitting in the carport for 3 months. I need new tires, as all my tires are original to the vehicle, and they're all dry rotted. So I've been pretty much stuck. It hasn't really been a big deal because I do work from home, and quite honestly, I only leave on Saturday and Sunday, and that is a big if. I don't like to leave the house. I don't like to drive. People just give me flat out anxiety. I just choose to stay home. So I have not been driving. My car has not been getting gas. So that has really been just my husband's truck. So that may or may not adjust in the future as the little tax refund that we are getting back. As I stated in the beginning of the video, part of that is going to put tires on my car. I was going to put a sinking fund for it. I've decided not to. My husband really wants to get that done as quick as possible, primarily after the past few weeks that we have had. I had mentioned the flooding earlier, and the one thing that he suggested was two things: that we start a fund to basically save up for our home insurance deductible so that it is sitting if and when we ever need it. Number two, to take our tax refund and put new tires on my car, because one thing that I noticed in recent weeks with all of the flooding, if I had to leave my house, my husband was not home when all of this went down. It happened all around me, and including at the intersection down the street. If I had no way out because my car did not have tires, I cannot physically drive his pickup truck. It is a huge diesel pickup truck. It is lifted and the tires are wider than the truck. And I am a 5-foot woman. I'm small, y'all. I cannot physically drive this damn truck. So had I needed a way out, I would not have gotten out. So we decided to speed that process up and just use our taxes versus setting up another sinking fund. So that is for right now. Why I've increased this is due to the fact that it is strictly going toward diesel at the moment. And that will increase in the future when I get my tires on my car and I am able to be a little bit more mobile. It won't go up by much because I don't drive much, but I will still need gas in my car. That gives us a total of $787 that we are putting into our daily spending. This is up from $750 that we previously budgeted for. Our sinking funds have been changed. Home repairs is getting $5. Now, I did do something different, and I do actually want to check myself. Okay, so home did change a little bit. So home is now going to be more than repairs. We are taking part of our tax refund and we are investing in our well. Our well had issues during this flood. We basically had to keep going out a few times a day and getting the well to run because it wasn't going to run on its own and autofill. So we have a crack in our well. It started overflowing because the motor didn't stop one day, so it flooded our yard. Oh my gosh. So I know our electric bill is going to be stupid when that does come out because it's going to account for 2 days that our well basically did not stop running. And that is, I don't even know what that expense is, y'all. I just know that we need to put money into our well. So the money that was going to be toward getting our new fence has now been downgraded because our well comes first. Last time our well went out, I had to take our Berkey water filter and I had to filter pool water in order to flush our toilets, or water our animals, and be able to drink. That was not fun. So our water puts our entire property out of commission if it ever goes down. Our fencing can wait because let's face it, we can wait to get other animals. That was primarily because people keep crossing our property line. We now have cameras. That is a primary reason why we still have our Amazon card, is because we charged cameras. So our fencing now is put on the back burner and our well is put as priority. So this $5 is going to contribute toward our home deductible more than home repair. And that is due to increase as we pay off other debt also. Our equipment upkeep is going to stay at $10. That is for our commercial lawnmower, needing oil changes, and it takes diesel. Our animals is going to go up by $10 because our feed cost increased. And we are going to add tax filing. Our taxes used to be $250 to have our accountant do it. This is primarily because we've gotten into tax trouble before, we've been on a payment plan before, and it will never happen again. So his price has also increased. So now we are going to make that a sinking fund. I was able to cash flow it previously because it was low enough. Now that it being $350 instead of $250, he's decided that he wants to now create a sinking fund versus cash flow it. Our cash is going to stay the same. I only take out $20 that an ATM either allows us to take, or I add it as cash back at either CVS or HEB. And that goes into our cash box, which our cash box, I actually did a video on it. If you want to check my previous videos, I do show how I do keep a nominal cash box at home for cash purchases around our community and any sales that I get from selling baby chicks and laying hens. Our auto fund is for primarily my husband's truck. It is older and diesel, and that truck is expensive, y'all. those prices, I could probably buy something for $10 for my car to fix it, like this little part, and it would be like $300 for my husband's truck. So this is primarily for him. Our life prep. We do have children. This is basically for a will. It is for burial plans. It is for our burial plot, medical proxy, anything under the sun that we need to do later on. This is just going to help us get there versus charging it or, creating it as another expense. We're not young. We're in our 40s. So now is the time to start doing that. Our fencing is going to be getting $23 a month. This was basically $22 previously. And our Dollar Shave Club, which is every 3 months, because I only put into the sinking fund once a month. That is why that is just $4. Our trash was getting charged to our credit card. And the reason why I didn't think of this before, and I'm kicking myself for it, is because they don't send us any correspondence. I have to pay for that. They're not giving anybody anything. They're just going to take your money. And I get no statements. I get no bills. All I see is it on my credit card. So I'm very rural. This is the cheapest trash pickup that is available for us, which is the only reason why I'm staying. Otherwise, I would have the other end of the phone through the phone. That's how they treat people. But anyways, I totally forgot about our trash pickup, and we do burn our boxes and things like that, but I did not account for this charge. So this is now going to go into a sinking fund, which I will then, when I see the charge come out of my credit card, I will have that to basically wipe it out. Lastly, our pets. We did get a German Shepherd. It is another form of security. And the food for both of our dogs, actually, I have a 6-pound Chiweenie I've always had. He eats like a pigeon. So I've never really, his food lasts forever. However, 6 pounds is a hell of a lot different than almost 70 pounds. So that is for all of his needs and things that we do get from Amazon. The next portion of our budget is any extra debt that I am able to pay on any of our credit cards or any of our loans. So because our credit cards have a higher interest than our loans do, I'm going to attack them first. I've chosen to put the most on the credit card with the highest interest. With the highest interest, which is our Amazon card. So that is where the bulk of this extra money, $673, that is where the bulk of that is going to go. So I'm going to pay an additional payment of $373 on my Amazon card. The second card that I was working on prior, when I had initially paid off my Amazon card, was the second card in line, which is the second highest interest, which again is going to get more money than my others. So that's going to get $100, and then my middle and my lowest credit card are going to get $50. So the Synchrony bills are next. I chose to put $100 on this first Synchrony card primarily because we have until October to pay it off before interest kicks in. So this Synchrony card is 0% interest until October. Then it will jump to 30. That's not going to happen. So I am trying to pay this off as quickly as I can. I think I am now down to like $791 for a balance. So this will bring it down even further. And my second Synchrony card is a 36-month card at 0% interest. So I am just going to put $50 on that card also, taking $673, which is what we had left over. Now, I didn't fill any of these as of yet. These are the additional savings accounts that my husband wanted to basically see if we can't fund little by little. And that is our retirement, which we both have IRA accounts, Neither one of our jobs actually offers a 401. Emergency fund, which part of our taxes is going to fund $500 so that we are starting our savings account with $500 to build upon. I don't have that tax refund yet, so this is just not getting anything at the moment. Our pool renovation, our pool is leaking. It has a couple leaks in it, and it needs a new liner. I don't have 7 to 10 grand to pop into our pool, so that is going to be something that we are going to save for. Also, homestead, we do need a fence. We wanted new animals, trying to be more self-sufficient. There are a lot of projects that we want to do in upcoming years. This is just going to help us get there. Lastly is drainage. We have drainage issues because our property is on a slope, and being first-time home buyers, that's not really something that we accounted for or even looked at or even thought was an issue or even like had red flags. We didn't know this until 6 months after we moved. So we have drainage issues primarily because we have sandy soil. With sandy soil means that the soil moves. So it is moving toward our house, covering our foundation and causing leakage issues. So that is something that we are going to start funding also. And I kind of thought that I would use sinking challenges for these. I do have a book in mind that I wanted to get that has numerous savings challenges in it that I wanted to see if I couldn't use to fund some of these other bigger expenses. So I am still thinking on that and thinking about how I want to do it. If y'all have any suggestions on how I can make a dent in any of these little savings accounts with savings challenges, I am all for it. I do not carry cash. I do not do cash budgeting. I don't have my bank close enough for me to do that for free, as well as many other reasons that I do not carry cash. We do everything digitally, which I will show on the next screen. And I don't know how to do this. I'm still thinking on it. So the other portion that we meaning my husband and I spoke about was calculations. So our total income so far this month, and by income this month, I mean physical paychecks that actually came in the month of May, was this paycheck for $34.31. We made $361 in minimum credit card payments. We paid $723 extra on credit cards, meaning our total credit card payments for this month was $1,084. Our minimum loan payments were $245, so that was all that we paid. The total amount that we saved, which is our sinking funds, these are all our little savings accounts. Total amount that we saved this month was $275, which means the total that I am digitally transferring this paycheck is $1,062. What that consists of is my daily spending, my sinking funds, and any additional savings that goes into a different bank. So I have $1,062 to work with that I am going to digitally transfer. Now, I am going to do a separate digital cash stuffing to all of my sinking funds in a totally separate video, but I did want to let you know kind of how these are all calculated. Our sinking funds, I do have all of our sinking funds as well as the goals for each account, and that is how I am going to track including our quarterly expenses. So this is how I am going to do our budget, I believe, from now on. It just enables me to include a lot more detail, a lot more spaces, and a lot more overview to get a better snapshot of what we're dealing with. That way when my husband asks questions, I can kind of give him the answers. We accounted for things that weren't previously accounted before. And I really broke down our sinking funds and our additional savings to account for more things that we really wanted to accomplish. And again, we got a tax refund, which basically wiped out our entire tax debt. So our debt total decreased by $4,300, giving us back $318 per month. My gosh, y'all, I cannot tell you how overwhelmed I have been in like the past week and a half. Not only did we have the floods, but I was revamping our budget. I was going through credit card statements. This is everything that basically was a big brain dump for my husband and I this weekend. Sorry, I have like a fly in here. I think it really wants my coffee. And we really put our heads together and came up with goals that we really want to make. And this seems like a lot, but I tried to go into it in as much detail as I possibly could so that it does make sense. And initially wanted to go through the rest of the book from the Budget Mom until it was done, try to get my money's worth out of it. But doing everything this weekend and really thinking and asking myself questions about how do we even further save money. All these little things going on our credit cards were adding up over time because they weren't included in the budget. And I felt like on a little bit of a level, we weren't getting much done, but on a bigger level, I was seeing some of these other things like the taxes being taken away, the storage being picked up, the Amazon being paid off before. And I just wondered why I wasn't making as much progress as I thought I was. And some of these things would explain why. So I now have everything I think. We went through everything under the sun this weekend. And I think I pulled everything that wasn't included in my budget and tried to make sense of it all. So this is my brain dump at the moment. This is where I'm starting from. This may not even be what it looks like 6 months from now. This is a work in progress, and I'm hoping it's going to work because I think we've included everything and it breaks it down to where we now have more numbers to go off of, more detail. And yeah, so there's that. Those are all the issues that we found, including my new workbook and our sinking funds. I did briefly talk about our tax refund. That is coming. I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming. I didn't want to mention that they were going to pay off our entire back tax balance until I got it in writing. I knew that was going to happen, but until it's in writing, I was leery. But I do have it in writing now, and my balance is now zero. I'm actually filming on my phone, otherwise I'd show you. And I am getting a refund back. So when that comes back, I will do a separate video on what we plan to do with it. We do have a couple of ideas. Next, we're going to do our payoff trackers because I did make progress on our pest control loan and our student loans. So those are the only two payoff trackers that I have paid off this pay period. So let's do that now. All right, so these are, I just have a simple folder. I've separated it, payoff trackers and savings trackers. I need to redo some of these again because our savings goals have changed. So I will do that for next video. But we did not pay our auto loan this time. I did pay pest control. So we can do that. So I did make an additional payment. Every 3 squares equals a payment. All right, so there's that. I did not make any additional payments on our mortgage. I did pay off our student loans. So I am going to pay 26, And that is going to be paid on 5/23, which I'm actually, after we're done this video, my student loans will actually be paid. All right, I do have 3 student loans that I make 1 bulk payment on. That is why you see 3 sheets, but only 1 payment. And 50 on this one. All right, so we have our pest control and all of our loans, so that is up, that is done. So we've done those. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. We did make a dramatic change to our budget, as well as how we do our budget and what we include in our budget. Savings change, sinking funds change, and our daily spending change. So I'm really hoping that this is going to work going forward. We'll see how it goes. And oh, I have one last question for y'all. This is my wallet. I very, very, very much despise my wallet. Very, very much despise my wallet. I have all these little things, all these little tabs. I don't feel like I have enough room. I don't feel like I can hold receipts. I don't like this at all. I'm not a cash spender, so I would love a place like a zippered wallet that's wider than this, that I can put trackers in to track like my groceries, our gas, you know, our CVS expenses, things like that, so I can have them in my wallet and not shoved in my wallet, and be able to zipper it up so that nothing falls out. So any wallet that you can recommend, I would be greatly appreciative. I see so many different ones on Amazon, and it's so much of what I don't do. I also thought of maybe just buying one of these wallets, and everything that I don't use in them, I'll just use as a giveaway. So let me know what you think below. Should I buy a wallet and just give everything I don't use away? Or should I just get what I need and call it a day? So thoughts, please put your comments below. I would love to hear your recommendations. Yeah, so next I will do a sinking funds video when I do my digital cash stuffing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So hope everybody is having a fantastic May. Everybody's doing well with their budget. And welcome to all the newbies that subscribed to my channel in recent weeks. I could not be more grateful for you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and our debt-free journey. We are trying so hard to become debt-free and go into retirement without owing anybody anything. That's our goal. That's primarily why we bought the house at the price range we did, knowing that I could pay it off before we retired. So that is just kind of where we're at. So I hope this inspires you to try something new. Don't be afraid to take a leap and do something different, even though it may seem overwhelming, because let me tell you, I have been very overwhelmed this past week and a half, and I'm just glad that this is done to where I can get started on it and see where our budget journey takes us. So until next time, I hope you enjoy your weekend, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.